Hey guys, welcome back to Punishing Grey Raven. We have a drama on day 3. Now, if you've been around my channel for any length of time, you've probably noticed that I steer well clear of this stuff. I just don't really care for it. I find people get too emotional about drama type topics, and if you have one opinion and another person has an opposing opinion, it's like you just can't get along, which isn't the way to go about it. I don't agree with that. So that's why normally I will cover news on a bit of drama sometimes. I will always leave feedback for the devs in games that I play if I have feedback. But I try and keep my personal thoughts on drama to myself because I just don't see any good that comes from me spreading my personal opinion. So in this one, I'm going to try and go through what's actually happening. There's 4 main topics that are getting sort of riled up about. So I'll cover the facts that we do know, and I will give you guys my slight opinions on them. I'm very neutral in my opinions in these ones in general. Like, I'm pretty much just going along with the facts. In my opinion, it directly follows the facts of what I could find out. So that's what's happening here. Anyway, we'll go through all the topics and have a bit of a chat. But I just want to, before we go any further, is with all these drama type topics, I find it just gets way too, like I said earlier, people just butting heads against each other, and it's just not worth it. It's a game, guys. So if you watch me in My Hero Academia, that game was the most drama-full thing for a month of launch that I've ever seen. I made a couple videos covering what was going on, some changes that I didn't like in that game, and I kept playing it, and eventually I'm just like, listen, I'm done, I'm going to move on, find the next thing. And that is how I operate. I will always leave my feedback with devs and stuff like that. If it gets too far, I'm not going to get involved in drama and stuff like that. I'm just going to move on to the next thing because, you know, there's always something else. So let's get into it. Okay, so the first one being the event and the fact that free-to-play players probably are not going to get the skin. I did the calcs. I've got a whole video on it where the worst luck free-to-play player will end up with 9,000 on this one on the left down here, meaning they'll miss out on all the top rewards. That is the first thing. I'll revisit them all and give you my opinions later. The next thing is that we have the Chinese version giving 100 black cards for these rewards as opposed to 50, which is definitely a change. So that is the next one. After that, we have top-ups, which is the exchange values of these being different. Now, we'll do some conversions, we'll do some math, we'll do all that stuff on this stuff in a minute as well. Just hit my head on the mic as you do. And the final one that we do have is, let me jump over to Reddit. There it is. This one about the Discord mods muting people on Discord for spamming about the payment and stuff like that. So those are the 4 topics. Now let's go back through and we'll go through them one by one, tell you pretty much what's going on, and then give you my little bit of an opinion. So first off, for the event, like I said, did the math, 9,000 on this one on the left hand side is what the worst like free-to-play player will get. Now, personally, I don't like, with events, I don't mind, like I've played games where they have these sorts of events where you do like a draw and you get little rewards, but your progression to the big reward stays the same. So I don't like RNG in the progression towards the big rewards. If this was like, you know, you do the slot machine and you might get, you know, like 1,000 cogs, or you might get, you know, some weapon upgrade materials like with the draw. That type of RNG in events doesn't bother me. It's the RNG that I'm not a big fan of trying to get towards the final reward. How much it bothers me? Not much at all. But that's just the one little criticism I do have of the event. As for the skin and free-to-play not being able to get it, personally, it doesn't really bother me. 1, I don't like the gameplay of Karenina, so I probably won't play her too much. 2, I'm not a massive fan of the skin. Don't hate me for it. But I got my Daybreak skin and I'm cool with that. But aside from that fact, let's say it was a skin for the character that I liked the most and it was the skin that I wanted the most. It's still not the biggest issue for me because it's an aesthetic. It's not like my character isn't going to work because I don't have the skin. It's an aesthetic. And often when you talk to people around gacha games about like, you know, well, what like they've got to make money. What do you want them to monetize? People always say aesthetic stuff. So if skins had stats, this would be incredibly, I would have a completely different opinion. Because they don't, I'm not overly fussed, but I completely understand free-to-play players being a bit upset that they can't get their skin that they really want to get. Next up, the novice missions are 100 on the Chinese server, 50 on this one. For some of them, as you can see at the top here, some of them are still 100. So that is definitely a discrepancy, which I don't see why they would do that. So I think the easy fix is just bump them up to 100 and job done. Like playing through the game, this stuff didn't really bother me. Even after I see it on the Chinese version, it doesn't really bother me. Personally, that's just me personally, but I know I completely understand the argument that give an inch, take a mile. I completely get that, so I think they should just revert this back to be 100. Next up, we have the pack prices. Now, there's two different things going on here. The first one is the exchange rate, if you will. So I just want to look at the exchange rate here. Over the last 5 years, from the Chinese dollar, yuan, I suck at talking. So the yuan to the US dollar has fluctuated between 14 and 15 cents. So it hasn't been a big fluctuation. So I don't think it's like, you know, exchange rates are an issue. Well, let's do the basic thing here. Let's put one Chinese dollar, sorry, I can't even do it, equals 15 US cents. So on that rate, what we're calculating is that, say, for instance, if we wanted to go to, well, basically across the board, 6 Chinese is 6 rainbow cards, 30 is 30, 68 is 68, 128, 128, 328 is 328. So basically, we could just multiply whatever number of rainbow cards we're getting on global version by 15 cents, and that will give us what it would cost on the Chinese version. So for instance here, if we go to this one where it's 34, if we go 34 times 0.15, that is $5.10 is what it would cost on the pricing of the Chinese version. So the prices are a bit increased. So whether that's to do with taxes, I don't know. I don't know the cause of that. I did see an argument on this one. I just want to jump in here quickly. Is this the right thing? Yeah, here. Want to clarify that Yostar kept the pricing the same on global as on other servers, and even do some regional pricing in specific countries, so no taxes are not the problem. Greed is. I just don't think so. Like, cool that Yostar do that 100%. I just don't know if that is a valid argument to say taxes are not the problem, when it could be that Yostar just said, listen, we're going to make less profit off these packs so that we can keep it even across the board. That could have been a thing too. So like, I don't agree with them increasing the prices, but I'm just saying they might have, I'm just trying to get to the why they did it. It might have been for a bottom line thing and it's like a taxes, but I have no idea. That's just all assumptions there. Anyway, that's beside the point. The thing that is really more of a nuisance to me in this whole situation is the fact that it's 1 for 1 up here. No matter what size pack you buy in the Chinese version, you get the same value. Whereas for us, the value is not the same. For instance, if we go off a fact of 99 cents for 5 rainbow cards, you would then assume that $5 would get you 25, but $5 is now getting you 28, which means the value is increasing. The more expensive the pack is, the better the value you are getting. So they're trying to do that thing where they entice you to buy the more expensive packs. Now, that is something that, and this is where it comes in. This is where I'm not too sure, and this is where I'm reserving my thoughts. If the biggest pack was better value than the Chinese conversion, then it would be like a good thing. But it just, because everything seems a bit more expensive, it makes it feel like a bad thing. So I don't know I don't know the reasoning. I don't have any clue on the reasoning. For me personally, this model here where the bigger pack you buy gives you more stuff is a pretty common model. So it didn't, like, when I looked at the packs in the game, it didn't bother me personally. Some of those cheap packs that you buy, like, I'm not talking about the conversion of dollars to rainbow cards, but the rainbow card cost of some of the cheap packs, like for instance, there's that one, the beginner one where it's 5 rainbow cards, which is $1, gets you a 10 pull over 10 days. Like, that's pretty good value. So when I looked at the pricing in the game originally, the prices didn't bother me. But when you see this, it looks like that they've made an attempt to change something. So don't know the reasoning. It's not enough for me to get my pitchfork out. Once again, I understand the argument of give an inch, take a mile. I'm just more calm and I just wait and see how things pan out. So once again, this one's not honestly a big deal to me. And like I said, I understand that argument from people, but if I'm playing a game and I just see the values being decent and I haven't looked at the Chinese, I'm cool. But obviously they've done some changes in here for marketing. They may have looked at income levels. I don't know. Like, this is the big thing for me. In Australia, we get shafted on every game that we play. When you look at the exchange rates, we are always paying like $110 US for a $100 US pack, because we always spend like 160 Australian dollars for a $100 US pack. But that's not the conversion. I think Brazil gets shafted like the worst in the world. Just mobile games in general and pricing across the world. Like, I'm just used to getting shafted that hard because I'm in Australia, that it's sort of just all over my head now. But that is that definite changes that they've made there. Make your own opinion. Okay, and the final one we have, let's just maximize this screen, is this one about the Discord. For me, this one makes complete sense. If you've ever spent time on Discords when things get toxic and people start spamming, it just kind of makes sense. So it looks like this was in like the main PGR section of it, where I haven't browsed through logs. I couldn't, like, there's some things I'm happy to research. There's some things I just cannot be bothered. That is one of them. But I just know how Discords get. They get really toxic really quick and people start arguing and getting offensive and just spamming the same stuff. So I kind of understand where they were coming from with this, in saying, you know, if you just keep spamming that stuff, we're going to mute you. You can put your feedback in the feedback section. That's what human, like, what's the word? Civil people do. That's it. It's early. That's what civil people do. They have like they put their feedback in and then it's done. But the one thing they could have done was have a separate channel in the Discord so that people could still discuss this topic. Obviously, if they're toxic, mute them straight away. If people are like being rude or offensive towards anyone, you mute them straight away. But having an avenue for them to have the conversation is still okay. But honestly, if it was just people just spamming and that sort of stuff, then, you know, it is what it is. And the thing with this is the clowns and stuff like that, the same people go down this route. So, you know, I think I don't even think I'm mature. I just think I'm just so beyond caring about this sort of petty stuff that I just overlook it way too much. But yes, they are muting people if they spam about the money and stuff, but you can still put your feedback in the game feedback channel. I think they're just trying to make a more wholesome area for people to actually talk about the game, even though I know people who are in the pitchfork type scenario say this is all that there is to talk about because it's the biggest issue. So I completely understand both sides of this argument, but if I was running in Discord, I'd probably do something similar to this if there was just toxicity spreading. So that is going to be it with the drama. I hope I gave you guys enough insight into what's going on that you guys can make your own decision without just following what other people think. And also, I hope I haven't lost any of you as friends, because like I said, I hate drama. I hate having opinions on drama. I hate publicly having opinions on drama because it just causes conflict between people, which is not what it's about. So I guess that's kind of what drama's about, but I guess that's why I hate drama. Anyway, that is going to be it with this one. If you have anything to add, leave it in the comments, but be civil. Don't be toxic, please. Thanks for watching. Hope you have an awesome day, and I'll see you very soon in another video, which is some more fun stuff, because that's what I like to do. Later.